Hey guys, join me as I talk about some of my biggest luxury regrets. And honestly, some of these really hurt to talk about. Hey guys, it's Mandy. Welcome back to my channel, Just One More Bag 01, where luxury meets lifestyle. If you are obsessed with designer handbags, love luxury items, enjoy traveling, or just want to get a glimpse of my Yorkie Winston, you are in the right place. Today, guys, I'm going to talk about some of my luxury purchase regrets. Not a topic people really like to talk about because honestly, some of it hurts. You know, you may have had some good intentions, things didn't work out the way that you had hoped, and in reality, you've ended up wasting some money. So I thought that this would be an honest conversation that we can have. I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts and any luxury regrets that you may have. And I thought that maybe we can help each other by sharing our experiences. So I have 5 different items to discuss with you guys today. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, the first item I'm going to talk about is my cherry Neverfull from the Louis Vuitton Murakami 2025 drop in May. I had purchased the bag in France. I was so excited to go and get the VAT tax refund on everything. And I think part of it truly is that I got caught up in the hype a little bit. You know, I was so excited for the Murakami launch. I was able to get some pieces from the black multicolor drop from the first. The second, for the cherry blossoms, I wasn't able to get anything. And I think, you know, I got a little nervous because the cherries is what I was really excited about. And for me, you know, I thought, I'll buy 2 pieces. I really wanted the cherry Speedy 20, which I did get. If I only got this one, I would have been happy because this is the number one thing that I wanted. And I decided to add the Neverfull in addition to that. You know, what I was thinking is, oh, you know, it's such an iconic collection. And, you know, they always make Neverfulls a lot of the time in these iconic collections. And, you know, maybe I'll start collecting Neverfulls because I do like the Neverfull. And in reality, when it came time for me to grab a cherry bag, I was grabbing this because this is what I really wanted. It wasn't the Neverfull. And I know that people hate on the Neverfull. That is not the case here for me. I do love the Neverfull. I have 2 of them, but ultimately I decided to let go of my cherry Neverfull. It's not because I don't like the bag. I still think it's cool, but I noticed that I really have gravitated more towards smaller bags, and having the 2 cherry bags, it was just always the Speedy 20. And I absolutely love this bag. It is a forever bag. So this is the one that I want to keep. So unfortunately, I hadn't used it at all from when I purchased it in May 2025. And I actually just let that bag go from my collection. You know, I was talking to a couple of my friends and they're like, you know, Mandy, if you haven't used it, you're not grabbing for it, you know, let it go. Just let it go. And it was a hard pill for me to swallow. You know, I am very, very fortunate that, you know, I was able to sell the bag and I was able to get my money back for it. And that is truly because I did buy it in France and got the VAT tax refund on it. So, you know, it wasn't at a loss. And I think that was something else that was kind of keeping me hanging on to it. I'm like, you know, it is Murakami. I don't want to take a loss on it. It is a special piece. But ultimately, I just had to come to reality that, Mandy, you are not going to be collecting Neverfulls. You don't need to just have bags hanging on the shelf. And I do want to really use the bags that are in my collection. So that is my first regret. And again, I am very fortunate that I was able to let that bag go and, you know, get it to someone who does truly love it and is going to use it. And that makes me happy. All right, guys, this next piece I still own, so that makes it kind of worse. Some of you may or may not be surprised. It is my Hermès in the Loop 18 bag. I purchased this in September of 2025 and I have not used it. It is still brand new. And again, it's not because I don't like the bag. I do like the look of it. I think it's cool. The leather is really nice, but I don't reach for it. And when I really sit here and think about why don't I reach for it, there's a couple of reasons. One reason is in my head, I thought I would absolutely love this. It made logical sense to get it because I love my Picotin 18 so much. When in reality, because I love my Picotin 18 so much, I always reach for that and I don't reach for the In the Loop 18. They're both so similar. They're both bucket style bags. They're both the 18 size. And actually, another reason that I haven't been reaching for this is it's actually smaller than I expected. It seems smaller than my Picotin 18, and it's just a little smaller than what I kind of wanted for every day. Now, I know that might not make sense because I keep telling you guys I'm gravitating towards small bags, but maybe it's the shape and size of this bag that's not working for me. You know, it's black, it has the beautiful gold hardware, and again, I really like the bag. It's nice, but I'm not reaching for it. And for this price, this is one of my most expensive bags that are in my collection, and I haven't used it once. It's a shelf ornament. So not something I love talking about. The other thing I think that I'm not reaching for this bag is I had purchased some Twillies for it that are awesome, which again, I haven't used. And it's because I'm not really able to style this bag the way that I thought I would in my head. You know, I bought the two Twillies because I envisioned it going over the handles, just like my Picotin. But due to the design it has on here, the chained anchor, you know, I really didn't want to cover that up. So, you know, for all those things combined, I'm just not reaching for it. So this is one I'm still kind of thinking about what to do. It is probably one of my biggest regrets. It's definitely up there. And I'm actually embarrassed to be admitting this to you guys right now because I was so excited to get this. And like I said, I just thought I will be using that bag all the time. It's so much like the Picotin. I'm going to love it. And I do love it. But I'm always going to grab for the Picotin. And I'm trying to come to terms and reality with that and decide what I want to do with this bag. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should hold on to it for a little more? Do you think I should let it go? You know, I kind of don't want to use it because if I do let it go, I want to be able to, you know, give it to the next owner in perfect condition, brand new, never used. And I think I just have to come to terms with, am I actually going to use it or not? So let me know what you guys think. And if you have this bag, do you love it? Do you use it as much as you thought? I'm really curious. So let me know in the comments. All right, guys, regret number 3. And this one is totally a caught up in the moment regret. It is the Louis Vuitton Tilsitt bag. And I have let this bag go, but it is still one of my biggest regrets. My husband and I were in Paris. It was my first time in Paris. It was my birthday. I had just purchased a bag and a wallet, and the husband was like, hey, I saw this other bag I think you'd really like. And I'm like, do I want another bag? And he's saying to get one. Yeah, of course. The champagne was flowing. I had a little bit too much. I think we all can relate to that a bit. I think Louis Vuitton knows that's a good thing to do. And, you know, the husband was having a good time too. I did like the look of the Tilsitt. I thought it looked cool. And, you know, it was a smaller bag. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I don't have anything like it. But, you know, being caught up in the moment and the magic of Paris and, you know, just so excited and happy, celebrating my birthday. And I think too, because my husband picked it out, you know, it was kind of special. But when I really think about it, I should have truly considered the size and shape of the bag. That bag is extremely structured, and the design of it didn't allow me to carry my everyday items in it. And I wanted it to be a bag that I could wear day to day. I wasn't envisioning that as, you know, like an evening bag that I'm only wearing out here and there with, you know, just a phone. And maybe if that's what I was going into it for, it would have been different. but just the shape and how structured it was just very inconvenient for me, my lifestyle, what I like to carry around. And, you know, I should have just thought on it a little bit more, or maybe looked at a different bag in place of it. And, you know, I would have found something that had actually worked out a little better for me. Now, I did get extremely fortunate in that I was able to sell it to someone that goes to my nail salon with me. And again, because I bought the bag in Paris and I had only used it maybe 2 or 3 times only, she had purchased it, you know, it was a good deal for her, good deal for me. I didn't lose any money. I am very fortunate that way. And she loves it. She actually shares it with her daughter. She uses it quite often. And, you know, that makes me happy. I like seeing people that have the bags and they're using the bags. So I know that that was the right decision for me. But, you know, it is a big regret of mine. And I wish that I had purchased something different and didn't get caught up in that moment and the magic and the experience, and that I had selected something that would have worked better for me. All right, guys, this next one is where things get a little bit out of control. This is my passport collection. And you may be looking at my passport collection and thinking, Mandy, why do you need all these passport covers when you have one passport for you and one for your husband? And I will tell you, that's a really good question that I wish I had considered a little bit more. I think I had intentions of using these in multiple ways, and you can. However, I don't. And in reality, out of all of these passport covers, which there are 9 of, we've only used 2. We each have the one that we actually use for our passport, and we get it stamped and we love it. And I don't think it would have been a terrible thing to buy one as a backup. And, you know, when I bought these, I thought another great idea would be to have it and put a little notebook in it, you know, keep it in my purse. I haven't done that. I bought a notebook once. It didn't fit. I returned it. Never thought to buy another one. Look at these on my shelf. Another thing, got a little bit caught up again in the Murakami hype. Had to get the passport cover in all 3 that were available from Murakami because, you know, I'm a passport cover collector and I'm going to use them for all these things. And I have not used one of these. They are all still brand new. And why that is a little bit painful for me is, you know, when I look at all the money that I've spent on those, I could have bought a bag plus a really nice bag. And you know, unfortunately, something that I was excited about with collecting the passports, I've come to realize I'm just not using them or using it the way that I thought. Got a little caught up in the Murakami hype. I didn't need all 3. You know, I mean, look, we all know we don't need any of these luxury items. We would be fine without any of them. But, you know, I did truly have good intentions with it. And looking at it now this year, I've really been trying to evaluate my collection and where I want it to go in the future. I'm realizing that, you know, I don't need to be a passport cover collector when I'm never going to be using any of them. So I think I'm going to be looking at them and, you know, maybe keeping one extra for the husband and I and letting the rest go. Do you guys have any passport covers that you don't use, or am I the only one? Let me know in the comments. All right, guys, the last one is one that I think we are all guilty of, or at least I'm hoping we're all guilty of and I'm not the only one, because this is probably my biggest financial mistake, regret. It is my wallets. I can barely lift them all to show you, and this is after I've let a lot go. What I had thought in the past is that I needed a wallet to match every single bag that I have, when in reality, I constantly rotate a couple that I love and use all the time. And I don't need a wallet to match every bag. I don't need a wallet to match every bag. I'm trying to learn that and get that through my head. What about you guys? How do you feel about that? You know, I have sold a lot and, you know, I've done okay with it, but I've lost a lot of money on this. You know, I just don't need as many as I have. You know, you kind of get caught up in the moment. Oh, it's cute. Oh, it's the same color as my bag. It matches. It'll look so cute when I'm pulling that out of my bag. When in reality, yeah, I'll probably use it once, hopefully. I have some I've never used. My Murakami card holder, never used. I think I've maybe used this one time. This I've used like once. This one I use often. This one I use a lot. This is one of my go-to. But, you know, that's the reality. This wallet, I got rid of all my other long wallets. This is the only one I have left. And I don't want to get rid of it because I'm like, oh, I should at least have one long wallet. But I haven't used it in years. So, I don't know, guys. The reality, I don't need a wallet to match every bag. And that is my last regret. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. Do you have any luxury regrets? Or are you more mindful and think about it and only strategically purchase and love every single thing that you have? If you do have regrets, what are they? I'm curious to hear. I'd love you to let me know in the comments. Has seeing my regrets made you rethink anything that you've purchased recently or were considering purchasing? You know, we're all human. We're all learning and growing every day. So, you know, you live and you learn. And I'm glad to say that I've learned a couple things about myself and where I want my collection to go. So we'll see what happens with my In the Loop bag and all my SLGs and what I'm going to do with them. But I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. If you enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel to keep up with me and join our growing community of bag lovers. And remember, guys, no matter what, there's always room for just one more bag. I'll see you soon. Bye.